Assalamu alaikum, Shaykh. Jazakallah khair for taking time out of your schedule to come and talk to us today. Alhamdulillah, we know you're very busy with Medina Institute and travelling as Medina Institute becomes extremely popular. We've just got a few questions, inshallah, that we'd like to run through with you, if that's okay with you.
Bismillah.
Inshallah. So, with Medina Institute becoming so popular, we've had a lot of questions come forward asking what inspired you to begin Medina Institute to begin with.
Bismillah, alhamdulillah, wa sallallahu ala sayyidina rasulullah wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa ala. Obviously, I hope and pray that Medina becomes popular. I think it's the right thing for young people who are educated and who seek education in the religion. What inspired me first, Medina Institute really is the resurrection of the first Medina Institute. And the first Medina institution was laid or introduced by Zayn al-Abidin Ali ibn Hussein. If you remember in history, he's sort of started doing, as what the scholars of Sirah mention, he started teaching people for a 1-year intensive at his home and then sending them out to the world. So Medina Institute is the resurrection of the first Medina institution, in the sense about 1400 years ago. And the 1-year intensive is what we're trying to mimic, is what Imam Zayn al-Abidin radiyallahu anhu wa rahimahu was doing in the 1-year intensive to the people that he was teaching. Now, the reason I think it's important here in this country and other countries where Muslims are a minority in general, that's where Medina is, except Sudan now, which is Muslims are a majority there, but other than that, Medina exists in countries that are Muslims are minority, is because it's got traditional thinking, traditional study, and it's geared towards modern living. I think it's got all the recipes that one needs to become a leader. Leaders are not born, leaders are made. And Medina is a place where you can get your traditional Islamic education based on the Quran and the Sunnah. And that means on the methodology of Ahl Sunnah wal Jama'ah, based on prioritization of the book and the Sunnah, and then you become a leader in the religion, a leader in society, and whatever your other specialty is, you may be.
Alhamdulillah. And would you say that Medina Institute's 1-year intensive, is it going to be going across the globe in every country that you establish Medina Institute, or?
We always hope and pray that Medina goes everywhere else in the world. We are already in 5 countries, alhamdulillah, and there's more demand than actually we can supply at this point. So sometimes horizontal growth must be matched by vertical growth. So what we're trying to do here in our headquarters in the USA, Medina USA is the base of all the whole Zawiyah, all Medina institutes everywhere. So we're starting from here, inshallah ta'ala, and we're in other places. We want to bring hope, growth, and opportunity everywhere we go. Medina Institute being a moderate or organization that teaches moderate theology of Ahl Sunnah wal Jama'ah, inclusive, non-violent as a base, and based on the book and the authentic Sunnah. I think there's a lot that awaits us.
Inshallah. And you mentioned about hope, growth, and opportunity. What, like, with the way that society is running at the minute, with the youth sort of being lost and confused, what advice would you give to the Muslim youth based on that?
I think the Muslim youth are very smart people. They're energetic. They love their deen. I think the way Medina contributes is providing facts on the table. So this way, the young people who are going to schools and universities across the world, they can check for themselves. Knowledge is powerful, and knowledge will set you free. Medina Institute's contribution is so that there's no monopoly of knowledge. Everyone contributes, and then you contrast and compare. And I think, again, coming from a very moderate approach to Islam, obviously, in a very inclusive fashion, helps. And the youth will look at the facts and they will see. Medina is also fun. They're going to be studying lots of things that people study in traditional universities: علوم القرآن, علوم السنة, علم الأصول, علم الفقه, اللغة العربية, التزكية, history and seerah, So these things, they give the young person a well-rounded education. They can do the 1 year, or they can move on to the 3-year program or the bachelor's program, and eventually to the master's program the Medina Institute is launching. So, but the 1 year will give that young person a good foundation in the 5-6 sciences, basic foundation, and then they can go back to their university course or whatever they were doing and continue and be the best they are. But at least they know now the basics of their deen. They don't need to depend on others to give them. Medina's model is very simple. It's empowerment rather than delivery. What that means, the difference is very simple. It's one thing to, in English you say, it's one thing to teach, to bring water to the horse. It's another to take the horse to the water. Medina seeks to empower the young people, to give them the keys for further advanced research, so they can know the facts themselves. So their conviction is not because of what their teacher said necessarily, but is what they actually saw with their lives. So it's empowerment rather than enforcing sort of a blind imitation track.
Absolutely. What advice would you give to those who are watching this video, inshallah, who can look at this video and maybe benefit on the outskirts, not coming onto the Usul al-Din program, but maybe wanting to help and support in other ways?
Look, we are in the U.S. and the U.S. is a very big place. We're also in the U.K., we're in South Africa, we're in Canada. We need all the help that we can get. And the biggest help everybody can do is dua. Prayers are very important. Surely you know that institutions like this are a labor of love. Basically, everyone is in it because they love what they see, not because there's any return any other way. So everything that comes from everybody, especially dua and any other help, whether it's human resource, financial resource, or anything else, is greatly appreciated.
Inshallah. Jazakallah khair for your time.
Ameen. Barakallah fiki.